Hey guys, I am DM Zone. This is Gamers Oasis. Let's get into this real quick. Okay guys, so this video is a little bit different format, and you might notice I don't have my beard with all the other stock in the Rodemus, and that's because stupid fly. That's because I ended up having a volume issue, and there was no volume recorded when I recorded my stalking the rats, which is very unfortunate. So I'm just going to basically go over some cliff notes. I'll drop into the screen a little bit to kind of show where some stuff was and that type of stuff. But let me get into basically the meat and potatoes of what happened. This will be a much faster video than normal. There were 4 were-rats at Rodemus Keep. One was patrolling and would only stop in at certain times and then would disappear again. He travels with a warband of goblins and orcs and that type of stuff, and of course rats. And he has his own personal cook, which the party has kind of run into a NPC that was one of the missing that survived, that talked about that there was this goblin cook that cooked for them and that type of stuff. But the person was extremely mean and whatnot. That's part of that guy's retinue, shall we say. Just got this stupid fly buzzing my head. Anyways, that one is called Aylard, Aylard, and of course Rodemus. And he is the uncle. He is the oldest of all the were-rats. He is the one that came to Rodemus Keep to see his nephew and had brought an object that he had stolen from the Giants, which I'll talk about in a different video. And he brought it to Lord Bardol. Lord Bardol did not want anything to do with this, obviously, but was turned into a were-rat during this process, and then became evil, and then kind of lusted and craved after these type of things, and eventually he succumbed to all the evil shenanigans that Aylard had done. In his haste, in his turning, whatever you want to call, he ended up turning both his son and his youngest daughter. His youngest daughter was of a young age, probably about 7 when she was turned, and his son was more of like a young 20-year-old something or other, and had arcane arts in mind. He wanted to become a magician. He wasn't very good at it. He was probably mediocre, but because he had the money, he was able to afford to continue checking out this path. What he didn't realize is when he became a were-rat and he got his senses back and kind of could act normal and whatnot a few years later or whatever, he would never become a wizard. He'd never become a magic user. He could never cast magic. But he spent the rest of his life trying essentially to recapture some of the stuff that he was once able to do. This kind of drove a wedge between him and his father, but he also appreciated the fact of what he was now, and it kind of felt kin to his heart to be with his father in this way, and his uncle, or great uncle, I guess, at that point. So, you know, there was that. Jocelyn didn't have it so good. Jocelyn was ended up becoming very feral, unable to control her emotions, had very impulsive, that type of stuff. And one day she was traveling, or following, I should say, a priest who was snooping around the catacombs and had found something. And, oops, I almost got that fly. And in the process, he found some undead and this type of stuff, and had set up a ward against evil to trap it within this area so that he could come back at a later time and do it. And when he did, he ended up, or he trapped so no evil could pass this field. And she was unable to pass the field. Now, he didn't know why she couldn't pass the field at first. And in his haste and trying to console her because she was acting emotional and crying and that type of stuff, he was trapped by the necromancer, who was also down that area, who put up a ward versus good. And then he assumed that that ward versus good was actually the thing that was keeping her back too. Not good. But it ended up not being the case, and then eventually she succumbed to her hunger, and she tried to turn him, but he was prepared and was able to defend her away, but he did not ever want to take a child's life, so he could not bear himself to kill her, which is where he laid until his dying days, covered in silver, unable to be eaten, and unable to leave. Bardol came to see his daughter, but could not touch her, but would slide her food, people, peasants, that type of stuff, to pass her time, and that's where her time remained until she was eventually, in this case, going to be slain, and she was slain by the party. There was a chance that they could have rescued her, and she would just have fled, but they'd have to figure out how to reduce or get rid of that ward. If they had done that, then the Bardol and Y, the brother, which is WY, would have actually left and never been seen again. But they have been somewhere else doing evil. Okay, guys, so you can see here that this is it as it ended, basically as it completed. The different rock piles, which you probably saw in the actual vlog episodes, were there. This is not actually known. He never came in. You have Alred. That's I'm talking about. This part was not known. Then we have Bardol, Rodemus. They now have some magic arrows. Medium smoky diamond worth 100 gold, and 2 pieces of jewelry worth 1,000. You have Y, the sun, with 1 healing potion, small clear light. Jocelyn, Rodemus. Yep, you can see there another piece of jewelry. They never met Nagel. Nagel is a goblin that was basically adopted as, or really kept captive by the were-rats. He was taken from the goblins and raised by the were-rats, fed by rats and whoever else could make it through the rock pile to get there. And he basically became their accountant, keeping track of their horde, per se. He was the smartest of his group and was picked up as basically a baby. But in there, and they don't know what all these items are, but they know most of them are. There was a scroll of charm person, which they know about. They read the scroll of light, and Sinez ended up being covered in light for a while. They had 2 potions of invisibility, 2 potions of poison, which I don't know about, a potion of growth, a potion of gaseous form. So as you can see, there's a lot of items here, a lot of items that can be turned into things. They could mismatch, they could change things, they could go and find, if they wanted to, like where these came from, who they belong to. And I don't have these things named out here, as you see, but I for sure could do something of that nature and have that in there. So the wrap up of all this can be found with what happened to the Rodemus. We still have one on the loose, I'll say that at this point in time. And they're eventually going to go run into him or look for him and probably try and end this feud between everyone else and the Rodemus, shall we say. Anyways, guys, if you want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.